I'm recording this episode as of 2nd June 2024. The T20 Men's Cricket World Cup has already begun. In the past few months, India has hosted mega events like the Men's Cricket World Cup of 2023, the 17th edition of IPL, the Lollapalooza concert, and the Ed Sheeran concert. Apart from these, apparently 3.5 million weddings took place in India in the wedding season of 2023. Now, most of these events are a break from our daily routine, yet we tend to forget that even they have an environmental impact. For your reference, a single IPL match is said to emit 10,000 tons of CO2 equivalent. So, what's the solution? Our today's guest has the answer. Namaste. Welcome to Positive Planet, a podcast focused on amplifying solutions and ideas that create a better world. Today we have with us Nupur Agarwal of GreenMyna, a firm offering eco-conscious event planning. An idea that began as a result of making their own weddings sustainable, Nupur, along with her husband Ashwin, have now provided services to the likes of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023, Bank of Baroda, and many more across India. They also conduct weekly beach cleanup drives at Carter Road in Mumbai. So, let's dive into the conversation and see what insights Nupur has to share. Hello, Nupur. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hi. So excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Nupur, we are going to talk about GreenMyna. Lot of things to know. My first question is from your website directly. That starts with your love story, where you
Mhm.
mentioned that you met your husband while cleaning the Warsaw beach in Bombay, and
Yeah,
following which, because both of you are sustainability enthusiasts, you decided to make sure that your marriage is a green one.
yeah.
And in that, you encountered some challenges. Can
Okay.
you shed some light on what were these challenges that happened during wedding planning?
Essentially, like you said, we did want a green wedding, and at that time, the concept of green wedding was not that popular. I'm not sure if it's as popular even now. But when we approached few planners, they were like, okay, so we need to, like, first thing, one of the planners told us that, can you give us a list of the guests? And we would like to, communicate to them and talk to them and say that they can't bring this kind of gifting and all of that stuff. And I just looked at Ashwin and I was like, hey, this is not an awareness program. It's we are doing this because we want to do it and not because the guests need to be spoken and told things. It's okay. Let them come and have fun. It's a normal wedding. They are coming to have fun, give their blessing. So I'm not sure I want anybody to talk to them and tell them, oh, you have to be eco-conscious or environment conscious. We can just write a message about what we want, and it's okay if they don't want to do it. So I think that was like our first red flag. And then also, one of the planners told us it's okay to keep plastic bottles because it gets recycled, and we were like, no, that's not okay, because that generates a lot of waste, and plastic doesn't get recycled. There's a
Yeah.
whole concept of downcycling. And then by that logic everything is okay, right? So that way we were like, okay, it's not happening, it's not working. I think the biggest challenge for us was that I don't think people understood the marriage of sustainability and wedding together. So, I mean, when we do our weddings, GreenMyna, essentially ensure that the ethos of a sustainable or a ethos of Indian weddings doesn't get diluted. So, sustainability should just be a subtle way of being part of or being integrated with the whole thing. It shouldn't be a theme. It
Hmm.
shouldn't be an awareness program. It shouldn't be that, oh, let's not do this at this wedding because, oh, this couple might not like it, or it's not a barrier. It's not something that you feel burdened with.
Hmm.
So I think those were the things that we were very careful, and also in terms of budgets, in terms of a lot of things come into picture. So I think the biggest miss or challenge that we had was I don't think the planners understood what sustainability is and how to bring it with the whole Indian marriage situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was great. So I tried to look over, what's the negative impact of these events. But if you Google some kind of this, you won't get a definite answer, because events in general is a very common term. So can you shed some light on, like, what areas are the most waste generating, what events generate what kind of waste,
Yeah.
something of that sort?
So I think firstly, I would like to say that one event, generally from our statistics, because we have been in this space for 4.5 years, and we've been collecting statistics for every event that we are doing. So one big thing that we have realized is that like maybe an event of, an average size of 300 people generates as much waste as one person does it in 6 months.
Oh.
So, I mean, that is the extent to which one event can really dampen the environment, for to say it like that. And so, in terms of aspects of any event, I think there are three or four broad pillars, which is essentially your decoration, your catering. And if you take care of, sustainability in these two aspects, like for example, many people don't understand that the oasis that is used for keeping the flowers fresh, the green
Hmm.
foam thing, that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
recyclable. It
Okay.
goes straight into landfill. And that's like the most common way of doing the flower arrangement in any
Hmm.
wedding, or, keeping the local flowers or fresh flowers. But then that also brings to the question, then do we use plastic flowers or, artificial flowers? But that's also not the answer. So you have to really find the middle ground in things, and you have to do your research. You have to do your, study in terms of what is the visualization, what's the theme, where can we use it, where can we not use it, how it's going to be reused. So all these kind of conversations need to happen with the vendor, the decorator. The other thing is catering. I mean, definitely, decoration is something we work a lot pre-event. So we work in two spaces: waste minimization and waste management. In most cities, municipal corporations don't take care of waste that is not your regular waste. So event waste is not something which comes under the department of the municipal corporation,
Okay.
unless you specifically ask them to come and pick up the waste. But in that case, also, the waste gets picked up and goes straight to landfill.
Hmm.
It's not going into any segregation, any recycling unit. So the idea of sustainable events should get even more importance because of these basic facts in our country. Like for example, like I was saying about the World Cup, it's a bulk waste generator.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, if I give you statistics of that match, the cricket matches that we did, we just fed 17,000 people with just the extra food from the 10 matches that happen in Mumbai and Pune. I
Wow.
mean, that's the kind of statistics that we sit with, we deal with. Literally, one match can produce 9 tons of waste, and imagine all that waste going straight into landfill.
Hmm.
So I think the impact can be huge. So decoration or production can play a big role. Like even for example, if not weddings, the flexes that are used in messaging, that itself is a huge waste. This thing, because most flexes are not recycled,
Yeah.
so it goes into landfill. Then second, catering is a lot of catering help that we need during the event. So while decoration is before the event, catering is during the event, where we need the caterers to support us in giving the water, because plastic bottles is something which should not be used. And forget other impact on the environment, even on your health, it's not good.
Yeah.
So it leaches microplastic when exposed to sun.
Hmm.
So I think now all those data are coming into picture. But even like just serving, many times suddenly there's a plastic spoon out of nowhere for serving, the chart corners or the
Yeah.
ice cream corners.
Hmm.
So those basic things can be taken care of. And also the fact is there is always a percentage of reject waste which cannot be recycled or composted. So
Hmm.
that goes into landfill. But that percentage is what we are working on in minimizing that reject waste. It shouldn't be more than like, it shouldn't be in double digits. What all everywhere event like, sustainability can
Hmm.
come in, we work on that.
All right. Great. On that comes my next question, actually, that one of your biggest strengths would be the extensive network of partners that you currently have, and these are like local level vendors, of course, because your events are happening across country. On your website itself, I've seen Bangalore, Kochi, Mumbai, and a couple of more cities. In these cases, this might also restrict the level of impact that you can create. What is your strategy for such a scenario? What do you propose to the client?
So we take great pride in working pan India, and I think over years we have worked on our USPs, that we have an extensive list of vendor. So I think the way we go about is that you tell us what you need, where you need it, and
Hmm.
we'll work it out for you.
Okay.
So the magic of how we work is we have a small core team,
Hmm.
but we work with lot of local vendors.
Okay.
So we will have our vendors in, like, say, any place. Like we have done wedding in Anjar, which was like a very low, far off place in Gujarat. We have done wedding in Raipur.
Hmm.
So certain places, in fact, a lot of tier three cities come to us as their weddings, which are there in Jabalpur.
Okay.
And in fact, there was one place which we didn't even know existed in India. So, I mean, there are queries that come from so many small towns, and it would be criminal to actually say no to them, saying that we don't have the capacity to do it. So, any city, the way we work is any city will have a decorator, will have a caterer,
Hmm.
right? If you're being able to do an event in such a place, we have in fact a query for a place called Valawal. We didn't even know where it is.
Hmm.
So it's about, like, we essentially, you if you have a decorator, then you know that you can do an event there, and then we work with the decorator and we say that these are the things you need to help us with. So it's about empowering the local staff, local people, local vendors. We become the guiding partner in that case, because I mean, we can't have a big team of our own, because
Hmm.
every time we travel, we are anyway generating carbon footprint, right? So we
Hmm.
are negating the whole aspect of sustainability by just doing that.
Hmm.
So we are a small core team and we work with the local. Our specialization is in being able to convince the local vendors that आप डरो मत, आप करो, हम लोग आपको guide कर रहे हैं. Because it's a little bit of an overwhelming, scary feeling of
Hmm.
ओएसिस के बिना कैसे मैं फ्लावर्स अरेंज करूं, कैसे करो, कैसे होगा ये सब, आप क्या बोल रहे हो, लाइक दैट काइंड ऑफ कॉन्वर्सेशन ऑलवेज हैपेंस. हमसे इतना काम रहेगा, अभी आप बोल रहे हो कि किचन का कचरा अलग करके दो, ऐसे कैसे करके दो, so we just have to make them sit, calm
Yeah.
them down, say that we'll be there to guide you, आप टेंशन मत लो, आपका पास इतना ही टाइम है, हम लोग इसी में करेंगे, like, so that kind of a thing is where we work and we come in. And so I think the strategy is just that you can't be everywhere,
Hmm. Hmm.
and you have to ensure that you are everywhere by empowering the local people or local vendors. I think that is how we work.
That is brilliant. Actually, that is very reassuring to any client
Yeah,
who's probably coming to you.
yeah.
And that.
And see, honestly, when
Hmm.
GreenMyna started, our idea was to reach the masses. The
Yeah.
idea was that, sustainable wedding should not be only for the rich.
Hmm.
It should not be only for the select few.
Hmm.
It should be for everyone. And
Yeah.
that's basically the ethos with which we work.
And I think
So, yeah,
the more cities you go, the bigger your network expands, the more extensive your
yeah,
impact becomes.
yeah.
So that's even
Yeah, and
better.
you'll be surprised how many vendors actually are so cooperative and they're so
Hmm.
excited to do this. They'll be like, और बताइए, ये इससे ये फर्क पड़ता है क्या? ये तो जान के अच्छा लगा. So even that kind of language comes. So we have to also give full credit to people, especially, small city. I think I was just telling Ashwin few days back, it's easier to do it in smaller cities than in
Okay.
cities like not maybe Bombay. Bombay is our territory, but in cities like Delhi or even
Yeah.
Calcutta, because they are so rigid,
Hmm.
and they don't want to. नहीं है तो ठीक है, go away. Like, but in
Yeah.
small cities, they don't want to lose their client. They are
Yeah.
more, dedicated, and they, I think, also understand the impact a lot more than the bigger cities. So for
Definitely.
some reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it works.
Wow, that was good to know. Okay, transitioning to a few questions I had, and I think as a person who has been on ground, you'll better off answering them. Uh, you, as in GreenMyna, have had the privilege to partner with an event as huge as the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023, and I think in an event as big as this, since the crowd is are very big, you get to see a good subset of the Indian population with diverse mindsets. And I would really like to know from you, what kind of behaviors did you see when it came to sustainability?
Oh, that's an interesting question as well. I think, honestly, many people, when they come to any event, I don't think they come because it's a sustainable event.
Hmm,
They come to enjoy the event.
of course.
They come for the lineup. They
Hmm,
come for, what is the kind of experience they get.
hmm,
And sustainability becomes like the delight factor.
yeah,
So I think nobody is averse to the idea of sustainability. I think there's just needed to be enough guidance and enough, like if you put a dustbin marked as wet waste and dry waste,
hmm,
you might not still see people putting the waste in the right bins,
hmm, hmm,
because I mean, they are in the zone, they are
yeah,
thinking differently, they just want to throw it. But at least you know that they will not litter around and they will
hmm,
make the effort of putting it in the dustbin.
hmm,
The only thing is we have somebody stationed at waste dustbins telling them, can you please put it in this? Can you please? And then
hmm.
they comply. So it's
Okay.
not that they don't. So it's about level of involvement and level of expectations that you have from the visitors.
Hmm.
For the World Cup, it was interesting because we were having all these awareness slogans, which
Hmm.
is like, true fans don't waste food,
Yeah.
or Virat will hit a six
Hmm.
if you don't mix your waste. So
Yeah.
things like that, because
Hmm.
it was just like trying to incorporate. And that is when, people actually started coming and sticking pictures with us, with those slogans that we were holding, because it's exciting, it's something new, it's different. And everybody, I think, somewhere thinks or wants sustainability.
Yeah.
It's just that I think the guidance is missing. So even when we go for events, that is what we have realized. People will not come because, oh, it's a sustainable event, I should be attending.
Hmm.
But it is something that gives that delight factor. It is something that gives you that edge as a brand. If you are sustainable, there is an edge that you get over other brands.
Hmm.
So even with schools, restaurants, like, like we have a Siddhant for that
Hmm.
matter,
Yeah.
right? Like that. So when we say that, hey, it's Bombay's only zero waste cafe, they would like to go and see what are the aspects that are getting covered in it. So I
Yeah.
think those are the ways where mindset change and all of this is happening. But yeah, that's where I would put it. So it's not like it's too out there, but at the same time, it's not that it's not there at all.
So, one more question. You have been a
Yeah.
part of beach cleanups, and
Yes.
you still continue to be a part of beach
Yeah.
cleanups. A question that has always kind of made me wonder is, this does not feel like a long term solution. People can keep on volunteering, definitely, but there is a certain root cause to this problem. What do you think should be a solution to this problem in general?
Like I said, beach cleanup is not about a clean beach.
Yeah.
That's the mindset we go with. So for us, firstly, let me just tell you a little bit of statistics, even from Carter. Till now, we have picked up some maybe more than 60, 70,000 kilos of waste. We have picked up a lot of
Hmm.
debris, but not to say that it's a solution.
Hmm.
We are not looking for a solution per se as
Hmm.
such.
Hmm.
So there are, if you see a stretch of beach, this side is the sea and this side is a, manual littering or pathway or people walking.
Hmm.
So we want to definitely turn off the tap from the waste coming this side, because this side we still don't have that much control apart from, of course, giving the awareness.
Yeah.
So for us, beach cleanup of 2 hours becomes that one platform
Hmm.
where like-minded people can come together, think about the cause, because what else are you going to do on Saturday morning? Just sit on your couch and keep criticizing.
Yeah.
At least come out there and
Hmm.
talk to people and understand what are the things you can
Hmm.
do. So for us, those 2 hours, there's no difference in race, in religion, in
Hmm.
caste, in gender, in basically your monetary status. We have the consulates coming, we have people from the slum cleaning. We all eat together. Nobody will tell ladki hai tumse nahi ho payega.
Hmm.
Everybody is people who are cleaning in burqas, and we
Yeah.
just are together for those 2 hours. And I think those two it's hours are very pure,
Yeah.
where there are no differences as
Hmm.
such. And only thing that we think about is that कितना कचरा आ रहा है,
Hmm. Hmm.
कैसे रोक सकते हैं, कर क्या रहे हैं हम लोग, कितनी गर्मी हो रही है, can we, do you think this is something we can work with, where is the waste going, what happens with this kind of waste.
Hmm. Hmm.
When school kids come, they'll be like, पापा अभी प्लास्टिक नहीं यूज करना है,
Hmm.
balloons नहीं होते क्या recycle. So these are the things you start talking about.
Okay.
And that I think is a lot of difference that makes that it makes to us. We were a family of 4 people or
Hmm.
5 people who
Hmm.
started Carter Cleanup, and today we are like growing in numbers. We
Hmm.
have like
Hmm.
any day a core team of 15, 20 people
Hmm.
who think about. I mean, they don't come and say that, oh, beach kabhi saaf nahi hoga, but they know that there are new corporates joining us, and
Hmm. Hmm.
somewhere they will walk away with a consciousness in
Hmm.
mind.
Yeah.
And earlier in Carter Beach, you could not see the sand. There was only ankle length plastic.
Yeah.
Today, you can see the sand.
Yeah.
You have kids coming and playing there
Hmm.
in the evening. You
Yeah.
have two BMC people who are coming and cleaning the beach with us.
Okay.
Because they know that citizens are doing something and authorities need to do something about it as well. There is consciousness about events that happen in and around Carter because they cannot litter the beach anymore. Earlier, they
Okay.
used to just throw the confettis and whatever decoration items they put on the beach. Now they know that these people will come and raise their voice, and this is not something that they can do. We are working on a plan of putting dustbins on the Carter Promenade, which was never there. We are
Yeah.
working on getting the lights on in the Carter, this thing. We are working on painting the murals.
Hmm.
on the walls so that
Hmm.
people think twice before littering, put boards of do not litter. So they're all plans,
Hmm.
but you have to work with the authorities. You have
Hmm.
to work with the citizens in that area. You have to work with the restaurants. Like there are a lot of restaurants who come and tell us that, can you help us with waste management, which is in
Hmm.
the Cow Gully of Carter, which
Yeah.
is right next to it. They have started saying that, can we give 20% discount to people who come right after the beach cleanup?
Hmm.
Just give an environmentalist discount,
Hmm.
which is amazing. Like, these are the things which, if you sit at home on Saturday morning and read the newspaper and say, oh, kitni garmi hai, you're
Okay.
not doing anything about it. So
Right.
for me, it's about just showing that action. So I'm not sure if there is a direct solution, but I think there are so many solutions right in front of us.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's already showing up. It's about where you want to look for it. I think we are already getting the results we want.
Right.
So yeah,
So,
I'm very passionate. I can go on and on, but yeah, I'll stop.
yeah, no problem. So, actually, that does change a lot of my perspective, because what I was looking at it was, there's a beach, it's dirty, we need to clean it up. From what you are telling me, it's my beach, it's a responsibility
Yes.
for me to clean up. And because there
Yeah.
is no discrimination on any kind, it's just humans doing their work, you will automatically generate influencers who will go back to their
Yes.
homes and probably
Yes.
think of solutions which will finally
Yeah.
impact the problem itself. That's brilliant.
Yes. Yes. And
Okay.
also, I think, many people come say that, oh, beach तो फिर से गंदा होगा. भाई,
Hmm.
घर भी फिर से गंदा होता है. Dusting करते हो ना every day.
Yeah.
It's like literally that. You can't like, oh, कल से, oh, धूल को रोकना चाहिए because
Hmm.
dusting is an everyday thing. It is. You have
Yeah.
to clean your house.
Yeah.
So it is something even for the beach. Just clean it. Like. So yeah, I think the
Excellent.
way it is just that.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, I come to my final question, which is generally a fun kind of question I keep at the end. So it's a two-part question.
Okay.
You'll be first in the first part. I'll ask you to choose between two things. So the two things are: A, I give you a hefty sum of money, which will be like $1 billion or something of that sort, or I give you direct access to send a message to a big audience, which can be again 100 million, 200 million people. The only caveat being that you have to choose either one of them, and you have to address them regarding climate change using any of the options. So, firstly, which option would you choose?
Interesting. I think I would choose the first one.
Okay.
Because I think the reason being that I can use the money to reach to people as well.
Okay.
And I think there is a lot of work where it's not about just telling people
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
to do, but also being with them and guiding them and giving them that platform and opportunity to do it. And
Okay.
that's where my learning from beach cleanup really comes in. That you can tell people, oh, don't litter, don't do this, don't do that. But it's about giving them the chance to make the differences where you really make them think and do things. So I think I can use the money in terms of not just spreading that awareness, which is the other option, which is
Hmm.
getting that large platform. I can mobilize a platform if I have that money, be
Okay.
it the paper, be it the media, and not just social media. I'm talking about the larger media. I
Hmm.
can use that money for that. Pay the influencers, a voice will be out there to millions of people.
Hmm.
So definitely that, and also at the same time use the money to give people a chance, opportunity, platform to show that they can make a difference, give them the scope of doing things, and if nothing, just make them come and see how it can be done. So to me, I think the first one is an easy choice.
Okay. So that was our time. Thanks a lot, Nupur, for joining. It was an
Thank
excellent
you.
conversation. Lot of things, a lot
Yes,
of perspectives changed, I would say. I hope
thank
to
you.
talk to you again.
Thank you. I had a good time as well. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the episode. Please let me know your feedback and do share it with someone who might like it and is hopefully inspired by it. Positive Planet is dedicated to amplifying ideas and solutions that create a better world. So, if you know of any such idea that I should cover, please let me know in the comments or ping me on Instagram. The links are in the description. Most importantly, if we want to make this planet a positive one, we must stay together. So please be a part of the Positive Planet community and subscribe to this podcast. Thanks. See you soon.